Hello everyone, my name is Obo Joseph. I'm excited to be right in front of this camera once more, and the major goal that I have here today is to invite you to LEN 2.0 2024. Basically, what is LEN? LEN is a platform for leadership, empowerment, and network. And we've come up with the LEN structure because we've been able to identify a gap in the system. You know, they say there is a business in every gap and there's a gap in every business. So the goal of LEN, if you're using the framework of this illustration I've given, is to find that particular gap and to also locate the right plugs for the right gaps. We don't necessarily want there to be a mismatch in the lives of people. So LEN has come up to support the entrepreneurial ecosystem, to support the relationship ecosystem, to support the career ecosystem, to support the mind transformation ecosystem. That's basically what LEN is really about. So join me as I introduce to you one of the few things that you'll be getting at LEN 2.0, July the 20th, 2024. A location that we've kept secret so far, and we would soon unveil. Somewhere nice, somewhere smooth, somewhere in the city of Abuja. And one of the things that you should also take note of is that LEN 2.0 is basically like, it's a breakfast meeting. So we are hoping that we'll be able to break bread, we'll share wine, we'll just share things, and you know, we engage and we network at the same time. So right into what I want to talk about. I talked about the plug. I talked about the gap. Every gap requires a plug. If your life is not necessarily sitting on, you know, the proper fulcrum, you know, the proper tripod. You know, a tripod is like a device with 3 points. If like the camera right in front of me right now, you know, it has like a tripod framework. It has 3 legs. The camera is sitting right in front on top of it. So that's what LEN really is about. Our goal is to see how we can create the right foundation for everybody that comes across what LEN really signifies and what LEN is about, so that you can be stabilized with the right mindset, with the right skill set, and with the right tool set. These three things I've talked about, you know, the trinity of growth, basically. I first heard, you know, from a man I respect so much, Myron Golden. I listen to him on YouTube. I watch all his videos, 100%. Anything Myron drops, I watch it. And I had to lay that foundation so that we understand that there is necessarily nothing new in life. People that make the difference, people that go beyond the scope, beyond the boundaries, are people that have learned to ride on the shoulders of others. You know, an ant once told an elephant, I'm only as powerful in terms of my vision because I'm standing on the shoulder of giants. I'm standing on the shoulder of an elephant, so I can see further. So basically, if you're standing on the right tripod of your mindset, your skill set, and your tool set, that means that you are on top of that tripod just like a camera. You're having a clear vision. You can see far. You can see what you are really about. You can see what you can become. And all of these things starts first with a mindset. So basically, what is mindset transformation? The transforming of your mind. The scripture puts it as the renewing of your mind. That's what mindset transformation is really about. It takes courage, it takes dedication, it takes dexterity, it takes an unusual mental capacity to really focus on mind transformation. And when you have that belief system, the belief system of growth, the belief system of success, the belief system of reaching forth, the belief system of consistency, the belief system in taking responsibility, not having that outlook of somebody else didn't hand you out something in life, so you don't necessarily have what it takes to move in the direction that you ought to be moving. So the belief system is very important for anybody out there. For anybody out there that is going to make significant impact in life, you have to deal with this first. There's so much to talk about in terms of mindset transformation. Join us at LEN. You'll be hearing a lot of principles, models that will ginger you, that will put you in that right framework. Some of you have been operating on a level and you think that that's the best you can be. Trust me, there is always something better. The man who built a house in 1960, the year of our independence, and the one who is building it now, you can imagine the vision that that person had and the vision of people who are creating skyscraper models that are connecting with different skyscrapers. In fact, if you go to the YouTube, for example, and you just Google skyscrapers in Dubai or in Shanghai, other cities in China and across Asia, you would marvel at what you would find. So, would you tell me now that the person who built in 1960 and those who are building right now are on the same fulcrum? No. Life is in progression. Therefore, your mindset needs to be in progression. If all the books that you have read are the books you read maybe when you were in university, when you were in the secondary school, you never picked up a book since that time, you are not better than your grandchild, or you're not better than your child. In fact, you are worse off. You are worse off because you haven't necessarily moved with the times. So on this special invitation to you about LEN, we'll be dealing with issues around mindset transformation. We'll be talking about skill sets. We'll also be talking about the tool sets that you require. You know, somebody once said, and I quote, he talked about the fusion of these three things, the fusion of these three components. And he said one thing, that the mindset is the most important of the three components of mindset, skill set, and tool set. Why is that the case? Because once your mind begins to feed on things that are on the high, things that are on the horizon, definitely you'll be looking out for different skill sets. You would also require different tool sets to be able to put you together so that you can fight that which is ahead of you. That's why it's very important. So I wrote some things here. Mindset, confidence, courage, belief system. I'm a person of faith, so I have the belief system in the God factor. That's basically important. My heart is beating right now. I have no control over it. I'm alive. I have no control over it. Although I believe that life and death is in the tongue. So I speak life to myself on a daily basis. And that's still a process of mind renewal. I don't want to die. I want to live. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to take the world for God, things of that nature. So I need to constantly continue to renew my mind so that I can walk in that frame. For example, you're an entrepreneur. You need a mind frame that can deliver you from point A to point B, for you to be able to plug the gaps in businesses, the opportunities that arise within different business environments. That's very key. And of course, confidence, the confidence to believe that what you think in your mind is possible. People have said, oh, motivational speakers. No, this is no motivation. This is no motivation. Nobody ever started anything of repute without having the courage to believe, without having the confidence to believe. I would share briefly, about Mark Zuckerberg, even if you want to talk about Jeff Bezos of Amazon, even our own back home here, the Dangotes that we talk about, the Tony Elumelus that we talk about, the Awoshikas that we talk about, all of these individuals, it all started here. I've listened to Miss Awoshika talk about how she started within her career, and how that when she was announced as the chairman of First Bank, people were like, wow, what an astronomical growth. But necessarily it wasn't an astronomical growth, because she had put seed in the ground. Her roots had gone deep into the ground to be able to support the system that would deliver her at that level of proficiency. So you can now fully understand when I talk about you having the right mindset for success. There might be things that are clogging your mind. It could be your environment. It could be your friends. It could be your thinking pattern. It could be the things that you watch. It could even be the food that you eat. Clogging your mindset from moving from that place to where you want to go to. I had the privilege of speaking to a young lady yesterday, and we got talking about, she wants to do several things. She's a gifted person, but she's in a place where she needs to transit from where she is to where her current capacity basically is. And I asked her a series of questions just to find out, where are you right now? Where can you be? Then what do you have to be able to make that leap? My God, when I was done speaking with this lady, I realized that she necessarily has everything that it takes for her to be the person that she necessarily is supposed to be. But she was blinded by other things. She necessarily could not see the resource quotient that lied very much around her. She couldn't find it. So the LEN 2.0 is going to give you that understanding and that opportunity, that information for you to know that whatever you're thinking about, whatever God has placed on your mind, whatever business, whatever ministry, whatsoever, attainment that you can envision, that it's possible. It starts with your mind transformation. So we'll be sharing a lot of mind transformation tools to push you from where you are, to push you forward, to make you a responsible individual. Of course, we're streaming out of Nigeria to the world, and we're very conscious that our first goal is to make sure that the information that we put out there is something that is universally acceptable. So much of these things I'm talking about currently are things that are universally acceptable. Courage, confidence, trust in God, assertiveness, belief system, mind transformation. It's possible. You can do it. So I've dealt with that, and like I said, every level of skill requires the right mixture. If, for example, you're on a 1 million scale, you earn $1 million a year. Can you scale that? Go into the kitchen of your future. Bring your mindset, bring your tool sets, bring your skill sets. Put the right condiments together of each of those components, and you can build anything. You can build anything. Anything is possible that your mind can conceive when you put those three things together. So basically, we're going to be talking about skill sets. Skill sets, what are skill sets? Yeah, I'm asking you, what are skill sets? You can share with me what you understand by what skill sets are. And to talk about that, basically, nobody ever had course, or better yet, nobody ever had the right amount of intercourse with the marketplace without the right skill sets. Your performance, your intercourse level in the marketplace within the economic framework, your intercourse level within that framework is dependent on your skill sets. Are skills everything? No. Is the right amount of skill sufficient for you to mix with your mindset, for you to now have also a mixture with your tool set to get to where you're going? The answer is yes. You need the right amounts of all of these things that I've mentioned are at the tripod of success. So it's very important. It's very, very key that once you begin to envision, your envisioning should lead you to a place where you already have like a mental picture. That mental picture requires certain skills to be able to move it. When I began to delve into the area of ESG, when I was delving into the area of business and human rights, I have an ICT background, ICT and telecommunications law background. I have a law background. I have a human rights background. I have an entrepreneurial background. I have like a speaking coaching background. And I began to think, okay, I need to go into like something new within the Nigerian space within human rights. And I was like, okay, I do something around business. I do something around human rights. Why don't I mix those two things together? I began to research, and I found out that in the world or around the world, a lot of people have done several things around ESGs, human rights and business, sustainability. I was like, wow, this is awesome. I began to take courses. I began to read materials. I began to push myself, watch YouTube videos. I began to also create content within the areas that I had information. Then I began to source out information that had to do with these areas that I was trying to build a skill set in. And trust me, it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. When I listen to those webinars, I can make contributions. I can ask questions. I'm building that particular skill set in sync with my mindset on the basis of where I'm headed. So the envisioning is very important. You need to put yourself in that place where you can begin, where you can have the right skill sets for growth. And don't forget, sometimes in life, you might need to get into hibernation mode. For you to have the right skill sets, even for you to have the right mindset, you might need to, let's talk of skill sets now. You might need to get into the right hibernation mode. It's time for you to hibernate. Miss out on the visibility that everybody is craving for right now. Go back into yourself. Find your voice. equip yourself with the right materials, with the right information, build the right skills before you show up again, then it's obvious to everyone that there's a difference in this person, a difference that is obvious within the last 6 months and now. I once heard the story of a banker who lost his job. But he had worked with a lot of oil and gas practitioners, within his banking career. He lost his job. Absolutely nothing he could do. He had to fall back to his wife to fend for him and, things like that. And he told his wife, I don't have so much savings, but this is what I have. I don't want to jump out there looking for a job. I see a new future. I envision something beautiful for this family. Can you take up the shock waves that might want to attack this family based on my inability to provide the right funding for us to move forward? And the wife understanding, yeah, I trust you. I know that if you're in this kind of a place, it must be something better. And the wife took the shock waves. She was fending for the home for this 3 months period. He hibernated. Some of you might not need to hibernate for 3 months. You might not need to hibernate for 6 months. Some person here listening to this video, the hibernation system that you need is a 1 week hibernation. Somebody else needs a 2 week hibernation. Somebody out there watching this video, listening to me, you need to be away from the public view for a 2 months period, for a 3 months period. For some persons, based on the depth of the vision that you have, you might need to even be away for a year, 12 months of putting yourself in that right place. 12 months of grinding, of reading, of studying, of improving yourself, of personal development, of taking courses. 12 months of adding value to your mental frame. 12 months of acquiring the right skills for you to move from one place to another. It's important that you hibernate. Many of us are so much on the loose. We are so much out there that we necessarily do not have, we are instead of standing on 3 fittings, you are standing on just 1, or you are standing on just 2. You're losing your balance somehow. You need to get back to that place. You need to hibernate. It has worked for a lot of people. Some people, like my wife, is doing a work on rewards of consistency, which she would also be talking about in LEN 2.0. And that reward of consistency, the principles that she has learned through life by being consistent, is as a result of her hibernation practice. Once in a while, she goes into her safe place, she hibernates, and she comes out fresh, every time fresh. So it's something that works. If you try that, it would work for you. I guarantee you. You might want to take this to the bank. I wouldn't advise you to, but I know that these principles work, and it could be the reason why the you of 2024, July, would be different from the you of September 2024, or the you of 2025, or the you of 2027. Plant a seed today. Plant a hibernation seed with the aim of building the right skill sets. So I've written here that preparation at the field, you need to prepare. Then you need to ask simple questions. What kind of preparation do you need? Everybody's preparation is different. What have you learned? What have you been taught? What influence do you come under? Do you come under the influence of influencers that necessarily have the loud, noisy vibe? They may be making some money, but is that what you really want? There are a lot of influencers out there who are positive. They give the good vibe, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. They are very stable. They are okay. Those are the kind of guys I would advise that you listen to, so that you can fashion, you can already fashion your life around a path that works, a path that is leading you somewhere, with the end goal of that spiritual satisfaction. Because of course, that's the end game of it all. If you get everything else, if you gain the whole world and you don't gain spiritual satisfaction, necessarily what have you gained? So the goal basically is for you to be under the right influence when you're trying to get your skill sets in place. So that's very important. So I also put here that these 3 things, they move together. Yeah, so the last thing I will talk about now, I'm doing this video in a short form. There's a long form of it, but this is a short form and this is for you. The last part of this video has to talk about the tool sets. What are the tools that you need for you to move from where you are to where you're going? Is it relevant for you to build your life and your future on the tool sets of another? There's what in business we call business re-engineering. If you want to go into a space, for example, that requires you to just do what somebody else has done, you just re-engineer the process and you just move forward. That's still cool. But the goal, what I'm trying to talk about basically right now is that some of us need to use the tools that are best fitted for us. Your tool, to a lady out there, your tool might be that you have a pretty face, you have nice fingers, you look good, you are presentable, but you communicate well is important. To have all of those other things without the ability to communicate your thoughts properly, that means you're like a blunt tool. So I'm talking about people who want to shoot straight, people who are sharp shooters, people who want to get to the goal and get everything sorted and everything done. Those are the people I'm actually talking to. So you need to refine your tool. Your tool it could be tech tools. It could be your speaking skill. It could be your communication vibe. It could be your aura. It could be your dressing. It could be your intellect. It could be things that you have gathered over time that works for you. Let's look at the life of David, for example. When Saul wanted to put his armor on him, David said, no. I'm not used to battle with the armor. I'm used to battle with the slings and the stone, the catapult. That's what I'm used to. I have mastered that. I am a king of tools in that area. In what area are you a king of tools? In what area are you a king of tools? It's important to know where you have your greatest strengths. But don't forget, the tool that you used in 2020 and the tool that you are to use in 2024, they necessarily may not be the same tool. You may have worked with one tool that worked for you 10 years ago. That tool is no longer working now. That means that you need to go back to your mind frame. You need to go back to the mindset stage. You need to go back to the skill set stage. Then you now refine your tool set. You refine your toolbox so that you can identify the problems of the now and have the right response to those problems. It's very important. Don't come to me with a sling when the battle is around drones or technological warfare. What do you want to use a sling for? No stone is going to be valuable in that kind of an environment. So you must be environmentally tool ready. You must be environmentally tool ready for you to face all of the things that are ahead of you. You must work with the tools of the now. We have artificial intelligence. We have, different things springing in the world, and people that are taking advantages of the tool sets of this age are those that would necessarily move ahead. So it's very important. It's very key that you acquire the right tools. So I wrote something here. I said in growth, that's in time, slinging and stoning may not lead you into the future. Your stone and sling is to try and test you, because as you grow into kingship, as you grow into expertise, you would require an armor. And beyond having an armor, you would require an armory. That's your toolbox. The armory is your toolbox. What is in your armory? Countries rise and fall on the basis of what is in their armory. Companies rise and fall on the basis of what is in their armory. What is in your armory? What do you have as a backup defense system to be able to face the world at your level? These are just tips and bits of what you would be viewing at LEN 2.0. I want to welcome you. I would be sharing my experiences, both global, of course, international, global, synonymous. My international experience, my Nigerian experience, my cross-cultural experiences, what has worked, what is working, what should work. We want to take you on that journey of mind transformation, that journey of movement, of you beginning to see that you can make visible steps of growth. I assure you, LEN 2.0, be there. Catch you.